Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals and determining whether or not I think they should trade for wide receiver Julio Jones. But before getting that topic, question for those of you viewing, just a straight up question, Cardinals fans especially, do you want to see Julio Jones end up in Arizona? Comment down below. But getting straight into it, a big reason I'm going over this is because right now I think a lot of people think the top contenders for a Julio Jones trade are either the Colts, Titans, Chargers, Ravens, Raiders, Niners. Those are kind of the most talked about teams right now, Patriots as well. But Cardinals kind of fell out of that list. However, DeAndre Hopkins just tweeted out, the arguable best wide receiver in the NFL, top wide receiver on the Arizona Cardinals by far, tweeted that someone came up to him in the gym and asked him, would he restructure his contract for a Julio Jones trade? And DeAndre Hopkins' tweet reply was just a guy with the thumbs up. Obviously, you can't see that, but clearly that means a guy with a thumbs up means yes, he's willing to do whatever it takes to get Julio Jones. So while the Cardinals might not be favored to land Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins is for it, so I think it's worth talking about it. Now, a lot of people might think the Cardinals don't need Julio Jones. They have a pretty good receiving core. You have DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins alone is sometimes enough. But they added A.J. Green in the offseason. You have a good slot receiver in Christian Kirk, and you drafted a wide receiver in the second round, Rondell Moore. They don't need one. But Julio Jones is not going to hurt your team. He's arguable, when healthy, still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. And if you can land him, you now have two of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL on a single roster. And the Cardinals, you can't tell me that's not tempting. At the bare minimum, if I'm the Cardinals, at the bare minimum, at least making a phone call, giving some effort, opening up my eyes and ears to what he's going to cost. The Falcons are asking for a first rounder. They're not taking anything less. Fine. Don't accept it, but at least you attempt it and at least put some effort into seeing what it would cost. To me, if he's going to cost like a day 2 or day 3 pick and you got to give up a second and fourth or 2/3, whatever the pick is, to me, if it's some mid-round picks, I'm going to be trying to make some moves. Your team is clearly for it, and your team could use it. I mean, the Cardinals, they're in such a weird division in the NFC West. That's the toughest division in the NFL. You could make this argument that they're the best team in the division, and you could make the argument that they're the worst team in their division. That's just how close and tough the NFC West is between Matt Stafford and the Rams. Russell Wilson's always going to be tough as long as he's healthy and on that Seahawks team. Niners going to be healthy, and the Cardinals having their connection with Kyler Murray, D-Hop, J.J. Watt coming in. Cardinals are looking good as well. Like I said, you can make the argument either way, but a way to almost solidify that argument or at least increase the argument of the Cardinals being the best team in there, Julio Jones would help that out. I mean, like I said, they have a great receiving core. Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, D-Hop. But you add Julio Jones, if Julio Jones came back, that might even convince Larry Fitzgerald to come back one more year. I mean, a lot of possibilities here if Julio Jones comes in. And of course, you're going to have to address the cap situation. You're paying a lot of money to D-Hop. You're paying money to J.J. Watt. The money's got to be spread around right. But with D-Hop willing to restructure, clearly things could be worked out. Just thinking of an offense with Kyler Murray, who's on the uphill climb. He's becoming better. He's emerging. He's up and coming with the receiving core that has Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, who we still don't know what is. He could turn his career around really fast for all we know. Christian Kirk, a great slot guy with great speed. Rookie Rondell Moore. This might be one of the best, if not the best receiving cores in the NFL. Decent offensive line. Now that they traded for Rodney Hudson, they got a guy that could kind of captain it and lead it. Backfield, I still have my concerns with James Conner and Chase Edmonds. Either way, if they get Julio Jones or not, the passing game is going to be their main priority. And run game, Kyler Murray's going to help them out with that. Obviously, they could use a better running back, but Kyler Murray's got some wheels himself. So run game's not too bad because of Kyler Murray being dual threat, but that passing game would be one of the best in the NFL and would be a team that, the Rams might be in our division and they might have the best defense in the NFL, but Jalen Ramsey can't cover all 3, D-Hop, A.J. Green, and Julio Jones. He can't cover all 3 guys, and this would just open up a lot of possibilities for the Cardinals. And then on defense, you got a defense you can rely on too. You don't need Julio to put up 45 points a game because you have a defense that's going to limit your opponents, and 45 points a game aren't needed to win. You got Chandler Jones coming back. You have Isaiah Simmons hopefully emerging. You drafted Zavon Collins. You have J.J. Watt added. You added Malcolm Butler. You have Budda Baker, and you drafted a couple guys in the secondary as well. Not top guys, but they addressed it in the draft, getting a guy in the 7th and 4th round again. Not starters, but they added Marco Wilson from the University of Florida in the 4th round. They're addressing the secondary, and it's getting there. But again, the Cardinals team isn't perfect, and they have some weak spots. Like I said, in the secondary, they're not perfect. But you get a Julio Jones on your offense, and it's going to compensate and make up for the weak spots you have. And it's just going to perfect this offense. Again, no team is perfect, and they might not really need Julio Jones. In all honesty, they probably don't need him. But that doesn't mean they don't want him and they can't use him. Like I said, he's not going to hurt the team. And when healthy, he's arguably top 5 at his position. And when you get top 5, anyone at any position, they're going to affect your team for the better. The example I've been giving time and time again is Stephon Diggs. He wasn't a top 5 receiver with the Vikings, but when he went to the Bills, he became a top 5 receiver. And what did it result in? An AFC championship. Cardinals, I think they'd be happy with an NFC championship appearance. Of course, Stephon Diggs didn't just carry him to a Super Bowl, but he helped out his team a lot, and Julio Jones could do the same exact thing. Just imagining an offense with DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones being on the same team, I don't know if Kyler Murray has enough arm for that, and that is a good problem to have. Not trying to say he has a bad arm, but you guys know what I mean. I'm just saying that's insane. There's not going to be enough ball to go around, and that is a good problem. My only concern would be, can Cliff Kingsbury manage this raw, talented team that has some of the best talent in the NFL? There's questionings and there's debate that he's on the hot seat this year, so if he doesn't figure it out with Julio Jones, he's definitely going to get fired, in my opinion. But I don't want to see the Cardinals trade for Julio Jones and waste a year with them because they don't have good management and a well-coached staff led by Cliff Kingsbury. I think Cliff Kingsbury can turn it around. I'm just saying that's kind of the debate right now as well. But overall, being aggressive can help them out. Like I said, the Bills were aggressive and got Stephon Diggs, and it took them to an AFC championship, one game away from the Super Bowl. Cardinals, I think they'd be okay with a similar fate to be possibly one game away from Super Bowl. And again, I'm not saying Julio's going to carry him there, but he's not going to hurt. And I just think a receiving core, again, Julio Jones, Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins. Like I said, Larry Fitz is probably going to retire, but if Julio Jones is on that team, Larry might be, convinced to play one more year because he's not going to have to even start. He'll probably be a 5th string on that type of receiving core. I'd love to see it. I'm not a Cardinals fan, but this is something I'd like to see. I like what they're getting down there in Arizona. They're putting a great team together. And I like seeing how tight this NFC West team division is. All 4 teams can be playoff teams between the Cardinals, Niners, Rams, Seahawks, and I'm for it. I'd love to see it. Either way, bottom line, I would love to see Julio Jones get traded. I don't want to see him in Atlanta anymore just because, quarterback frenzy or trading frenzy of any offseason moves, especially when it's a top 5 player, is going to be exciting and it's going to shake up the NFL. So I'm for it. Even if it's not to Arizona, I'm for it. As always, guys, I am questioning what do you think he is worth. I still don't know if he's going to be worth a 1st rounder. Should the Cardinals, I don't think they should consider it, but if it's a 2nd or 3rd, that sounds about fair price. Yeah, he has his concerns in age and injuries, but when healthy, the upside is insane. As always, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think he is worth? And of course, thank you for watching 2-Minute Warning.